Does anyone know what this is? Because we are stumped. It's definitely old. It says, Climax, patented January 6th, 1880, and manufactured in Medina, New York. It looks like an old track hurdle, but hubby thinks it hooks onto some type of machine and is used as a step. I did Google image search, but nothing very useful came up. Any ideas? It's an antique barrel heading press. It was patented by Charles Tyrrell of Corfu, New York, on January 6, 1880. In the description of the application for patent, it says it's for pressing and holding down the heads of fruit and other barrels, while the loose pieces forming the head are nailed in, or in other words, heading the barrel. It was manufactured by Albert Lewis Sweat Iron Works of Medina, New York, a foundry which made a variety of cast iron tools, building hardware, and plumbing specialties. What is this thing I found in an antique store 4 years ago? Nobody knew what it was. It's cast iron, and it looks very old. It says E.C. Hoffman, and I think it might be Cleveland, and it's meant to be screwed onto something. Any idea what this is? It's a 19th century clothesline holder. It is pretty rare that I cannot find a similar item online, but I found the patent. It was patented on May 29, 1894, by Jacob Hoffman and Edward C. Hoffman of Cleveland, Ohio. This was found in my grandmother's house. The main bauble seems to be hollow and the stick is lined like a ruler. The little loops seem to be weights with numbers printed onto them and fit quite nicely onto the bottom part under the bauble. My initial thought was some kind of temperature gauge maybe. Any ideas? It's a 19th century Sykes hydrometer, historically used for measuring the alcohol content of spirits, particularly in the United Kingdom. It was officially adopted by British excise officers in the early 19th century for taxing alcoholic beverages. It was invented by Bartholomew Sykes in the late 18th century. It was used in conjunction with a thermometer and calculation tables to determine the proof strength of a liquid. The hydrometer was floated in a liquid sample, like whiskey or rum, and the depth to which it sinks correlates to the specific gravity of the liquid. The Sykes tables are then used with the hydrometer reading and temperature to find the alcohol percentage. From 1816 until 1980, the Sykes hydrometer was the standard used in the UK to measure the alcohol proof of spirits, and from 1846 in Canadian law. What is this strange rusted structure sticking out of the water in Benidorm, Spain? I recently visited the Mirador del Castel, Balco de la Mediterránea in Benidorm, Spain, and spotted this strange metal structure rising from the sea just below the cliffs. It looks heavily corroded and mechanical, almost like part of an old dock or machinery, but I couldn't find any information online about it. It appears to be several meters across, bigger than a car. The structure is rising from the sea, disconnected from the shore, not visibly attached to any pier or platform. I searched using Google Maps satellite view, Google Lens, and terms like rusted metal structure in Sea Benidorm, but found nothing conclusive. Any idea what it is? It's the Benodorm geyser, which was a structure to create a geyser as a tourist attraction. It was installed in 1986 in front of the Punta Canfali viewpoint, and the powerful jet of water it shot into the sky rose up to 100 meters above the sea level, from which it drew its water. But the salty environment in which the contraption had to operate didn't favor its durability. It was finally dismantled on January 30th, 2014. What is this metal thing we found in our shed? We recently moved into a house and found this in our shed in a box full of millions of Reichsmark, probably left behind by the previous owners. Does anyone know anything about it? It's a German Nazi Sudetenland medal, also known as the October 1st, 1938 commemorative medal. The medal was awarded to all German state officials and members of the German Wehrmacht and SS who entered the Sudetenland on October 18, 1938, and to Sudeten Nazis who had worked for union with Germany. See if you can find some kind of museum to donate them to. Museums preserve it. What is this tool I found in my buddy's shop? They have no idea what it was. Someone suggested it's an antique soldering iron, but it doesn't seem right. Does anyone know what it is? It's a bearing scraper, made by Buffum Tool Company in Louisiana, Missouri, circa 1910s. Here is a video showing the tool being used to scrape a babbitt bearing. These are very old engine bearings that were poured, and this was done before they started using shell bearings. I think babbitt bearings got phased out in the late 1930s. The swastika was a pretty common symbol for good luck long before the German National Socialist Workers' Party corrupted it. What is this thing found in a Civil War box? We are cataloging some Civil War issue infantry items. It is stamped US, and the metal is of very high quality, like a pistol or musket part. It's about 3 or 4 inches long. Any information would be great. Thank you. It's a 1903 Springfield rifle takedown combination tool. A multi-purpose maintenance tool issued to soldiers and armorers for disassembling, cleaning, and maintaining the Springfield M1903 bolt-action rifle, which was standard issue for the US military from 1903 through World War II. It allows safe and controlled disassembly of the firing pin and striker spring from the bolt assembly, and the flat blade for removing and tightening screws on the rifle. Why does this bathroom sink has a sprayer? I worked at a house recently, and this is their bathroom sink. I like the sink with the dramatic slant, but what could the sprayer be for? I can see it being used for cloth diapers, perhaps. The house was built in 1989. I'm just curious what its original use was. This is called the Lady Vanity Sink, launched in 1968 by Kohler Company. It was designed for shampooing hair and washing babies. It was marketed as a way to allow one to wash their hair without the need for a shower. The faucet swings away and was designed for women to shampoo their hair or wash babies in. Source? We had one growing up, and our house was built in 1977. I'm told no one knows what this is. It's in a little museum in a small town I once lived in years ago, with a sign saying, "What is this thing?" I went to visit recently, and still no one knows. I figure you guys can likely solve this mystery. It doesn't look like anything related to yarn that I've known. I don't know the looks of things like knitting machines, but I doubt a knitting machine would remain a mystery so long. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.